The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
And while you're thinking about it, do a dance. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Kamen Rider Dragon Knight episode review. I'm really thrilled that you all are so happy about these reviews, and trust me, I'm right there with you. The first reviews are actually doing rather well for hiatus videos, even the full one as late as it was released. However, that video was over 40 minutes long, and that is not a trend that I want to continue. So, heroes, let's take a look at the second episode of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, Contract with the Dragon.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon.
Right, you. What he said was, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at Orange Ranger Videos.
The episode begins with a recap of the previous episode. A surprisingly meaty recap, actually, at 1 minute and 49 seconds long. Beginning properly, Kit and Bats run away from the dragon, with Batman explaining that they need to find a window, since they're able to travel through any reflective surface. Of course, he says this as they run past several windows, so eventually they find the arena windows, and Bats tells Kit to stay close. Kit would love to do so, but the dragon attacks again, shattering the window that Batman, listen, until this character gets a name, I'm just calling them Batman, okay, went through. Apparently, shattered windows are no longer considered reflective. I'd love for them to be considered, like, partially reflective, and going through them can cause some weird problems, but So Kit runs away, eventually finding a car and diving into that. Or rather, the reflections on that. He emerges untransformed back in his version of Los Angeles, and we see that since the two of them entered reflections at different points, they've now been separated. Cue the theme song, Let's Ride, etc., etc. At Grace's books, Maya is looking over Kit's ID and comments that he lives just down the road. How convenient. Trent asks her if she found out anything about the masked vigilante.
Excuse me, the f*** did you just say?
Vigilante? Did you by chance mean the vigilante? Anyway, Maya shrugs the question off, her aunt asks her something, blah blah blah, and Lacey comes in. Maya waves Lacey off using Kit's wallet, and she snatches it, commenting that Kit is really cute, and thinking that Maya pulled the take his wallet so he has to come back and talk to me trick. Then Trent snatches the wallet and knows Kit, since apparently he stole his little brother's MP3 player. Ah, the early 2000s. Somehow Trent knows that Kit has been in a lot of trouble since his father disappeared, and of course Maya instantly connects disappeared dad with lots of missing people. In the reflection of a window, we see the purple monster from the first episode wave its hand around, and the spider monster is resurrected. Then the purple dude just fades away.
That was a great scene.
Batman rides through the city looking for Kit. Of course, he stops near Grace's books, opening his helmet visor to take a look around. Maya is hanging a sign in the window, sees him, and recognizes him as the dude that smashed her camera. And saved your life, Maya. You might want to remember that. She chases after him, and he rides into a dead-end alley that has a set of mirrors set up at the end. Of course, Maya catches up, and he's gone. Maya, this dude you're trying to catch literally carried you out of a mirror.
Your incompetence is staggering.
At Kit's place, we see him sleeping on the couch. This actually makes a lot of sense. He's probably not comfortable sleeping in his own bedroom yet. And besides even that, think about this. It's not exactly clear, but when Kit's dad disappeared, he was probably somewhere between 12, 14, 15 years old. Does he move back into his own bedroom, the bedroom of a child, and now he's an 18-year-old adult? Or does he take over his father's bedroom instead with that whole set of psychological issues? He has dreams about the previous day's events, but they turn out to be prophetic dreams, ending with one thing that has not happened yet: the dragon flying directly into his transformed chest. He wakes up and checks the card deck again, and apparently it's one of those magic card decks where the heart of the cards moves whatever you need to the top, because the top card in it is now the contract card. A la, remember the contract card. After hours at the bookstore, Trent is able to hack into the Los Angeles police database, apparently by just guessing what the password is on the first try. Honestly, this scene is more for Trent and Maya's benefit than the audience's, just allowing them to catch up with the fact that Kit's dad is indeed missing and that Kit was in foster care, garnering him a little sympathy from Maya. Kit rides his motorcycle through the city, and we see that the red dragon is still in the reflections following him. However, he's a little more concerned with the fact that Batman has found him and is now also following him. The two have a motorcycle chase through the city, a quick one that ends when Kit almost hits someone and stops. Batman pulls up, snatches his keys, and drives away.
Richard relocation, that is to say, dick move.
Apparently, Kit just knew where Batman was going to go as he pushes his bike there. He demands his keys back, and Batman demands the deck. Kit starts firing off questions. What's with the dragon? What is the contract card? The deck is what lets you cross between worlds, isn't it? Batman says if Kit contracts with that dragon, he's going to get vented. Getting vented sounds like a nice, refreshing way to cool down on a hot summer day, but before Batman can clarify, they hear the shimmery noise. Batman explains that that noise is a portal opening between the two worlds, meaning that someone here is in danger. He grabs Kit and they run off. Nearby, we see an electrician working on a fuse box that has a silver reflective wall. His hand is then grabbed from webbing from inside the reflection. The two arrive just in time, holding the electrician back until the spider lets go. Batman tells Kit to stay with the man and not to leave, transforming and heading into the reflection. He finds the spider monster, which has not only been revived, but upgraded to now have a humanoid upper half. Kit can see the fight ongoing in the reflection, and to start with, it's kind of a stalemate. Kit saw Batman transform, so now he knows exactly what to do. He holds out his own deck, calls out Kamen Rider, and nothing happens.
How could this happen to me?
He has a bit of a Spider-Man moment, saying Kamen Rider in all kinds of different ways and thrusting the deck.
We're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore?
But we get lifted from that levity when Kit hears his dad say he's not doing it right. Not the reflection, his dad walks up to him this time, so we have slipped back into Kit's delusions. His dad's only advice is to remember what he's already said. He then snaps out of it, and apparently the whole entire trying to transform gag was part of that delusion, because he has to pull the deck back out of his pocket, and he finally remembers the contract card. He walks out to face a nearby building where he can see the dragon circling a giant portal in the reflections. Holding up the contract card gets the dragon's attention, as well as Batman's, who sees this in the reflections and screams, "No!" Kit says, "Let's do it," and the dragon flies out of the building and straight into his untransformed chest. He's taken to some kind of weird holding realm, transformed into Blank Knight, and then some more changes take place. His Advent deck gets a fancy little dragon symbol on it. The device on his wrist turns into a dragon head. The kind of plain blank symbol on his helmet's forehead turns into a dragon's head. And most importantly, as I hinted at before, all of the blue on his suit turns into red. Heroes, meet Kamen Rider Dragon Knight.
Roll credits.
Well, no, not yet. Batman gets tossed around and even knocked off the building. The bat creature flies up and turns into wings, but the spider monster lassos him and he falls to the ground. From pretty far up, too. Ouch! Spidey has Batman dead to rights, but then Kit bursts onto the scene, punching away some metal darts. Batman, who may not have wanted this, but is now literally in a bind, tells Kit to use an Advent card. He uses Sword Vent, and this time gets a dragon-themed short sword that is far more effective. After a few strikes, he uses Final Vent. And heroes, I don't believe I exaggerate when I call this rider kick iconic.
It is alluded to or directly seen in practically every Kamen Rider anniversary that even mentions Ryuki. It's really simple, but it's just well executed and just friggin'
Badass. Kit leaps into the air, starting to twirl around. The dragon twirls around him, and each time it coils past the screen, Kit changes positions when it moves. Finally, he's in a kick position, and the dragon fire onto him to power up an amazing final kick.
That just happened.
That was totally wicked!
Yes! That's awesome!
Yes, it warranted all three of those back to back to back. Batman, who, by the way, just somehow randomly got free while Kit was doing the final vent, scoffs that Kit's just not good at taking good advice. Kit is more than a little fed up at this point, saying he's not scared of this guy anymore. Batman flinches at him, but Kit stays stoic. So Batman just goes, "You're Kamen Rider Dragon Knight now. Happy?" Kit returns home, and I swear this show is implying that Kit's apartment is right above some kind of major sporting arena. The parking lot, the stairs, they all really scream sports arena more than apartment complex. It's almost like they weren't able to secure the entrance to some ordinary apartment complex in time to film the episodes. Anyway, Maya is there waiting for him, returning his wallet and asking him a million questions. He's not interested in anything she has to say until she pulls out his dad's missing poster and says that she knows that this is his father. And this works for some reason. She could have looked that information up anywhere. How does her knowing this make her worthy of knowing about any of the rest of this? But he just invites her in and explains the whole thing about Dragon Knight, the monsters, the mirror surfaces, etc., etc., etc. She says that she thinks his dad's disappearance has something to do with something that WATS has been investigating. However, since he doesn't have a computer in the apartment, she's going to have to take him somewhere. Seriously, in the next scene, they're walking down the street, and she's going, "I'm going to show you the way above top secret. I think it's somewhere around," before the portal sound cuts her off. She can hear the sound as well, since she's at least been to the world between, and Kit says they need to find a window or a mirror, while standing directly next to a window. And the two run past two more windows before finding the right window. This is going to be a thing, isn't it? Blah, blah, blah. He goes to transform. Lacey sees Maya from down the road. She tells him to hurry up, and he properly transforms into Dragon Knight for the first time, with Maya able to see the whole thing. He gets the capsule bike too, because toys. And in the mirror world, which, yes, I know does have a name, but just like with Batman, I'm going to get to it when the show does. He sees two gel newts and a creature that kind of looks like a humanoid crab dragging an unconscious woman away.
Quick cut back to LA as Lacey finally catches up with Maya. Maya asks if she sees anything weird in the reflection since she can see the fight going on. But Lacey just makes a vapid fashion comment. Again, you have to have experienced the mirror world to be able to see or hear anything about it.
Kit calls his sword, but the crab dude has powerful defense and really strong claws and knocks Kit down. But just as he looks like he's down for the count, another capsule bike shows up. Batman?
Nope. Another Kamen Rider steps out. And this one is orange. You could say that they're bronze, but seriously, they are widely considered to be metallic orange. They have a crab on their deck, which should really give the game away, but nobody said Kit was the brightest rider on the block. He's glad to have some help, but the rider attacks him instead. At first, not really saying anything, even later only managing a "shut up and fight." Kit eventually realizes that the rider and crab monster are working together. Surprise, surprise, the crab monster and the crab rider are friends! And that's where the episode ends. Let's deal the cards.
Episode 2, Contract with the Dragon. Pros, some great fight scenes, the pacing of Kit's complete transformation, and serialized story with the new rider. Cons, Batman is staying too mysterious, plot takes a little step back for the action this time, and Lacey feels like the only pointless character. Subbing action for plot, really just as strong as the first. Contract with the Dragon gets 4 cards out of 5.
This is the close to the first main arc of the show, and overall, it was fantastic. A well-paced intro to the main hero that effectively demonstrates that perhaps he's not the most important piece of the puzzle, but just part of whatever is going on. Nice fights against interesting monsters, and perhaps a glimpse at the one pulling the strings. Minor spoilers, the main villain finally appears in episode 3. We see them in a different look in the preview, and I can't wait! So, since I'm so excited, let's take a peek at the 3rd episode of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. The title is a bit of a spoiler. Kamen Rider Incisor.
Kit struggles against the new crab-themed Kamen Rider, making the bat-themed rider decide to finally train him for the battle ahead. That's going to wrap up another Kamen Rider Dragon Knight episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. While you're down there, make sure you smack that thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like any merchandise themed to my channel, feel free to check out my Teespring, grab yourself a t-shirt, a mask, etc., etc. Until next time, heroes, may the power of the cards protect you. However, the first review, oh god dang it, I'm just calling them Batman, okay? Went through. The dragon symbol farts.